It's Grandma Sherry, and I'm going to make some biscuits. I looked in the fridge. I went grocery shopping and I bought fresh milk, and I still had quite a bit of milk, about half a jug, so I thought I better use that up. So I make myself some baking powder biscuits. And then I had roasted a roast beef the other day, and there's some leftovers, and I'm going to make a stew with it. So come along with me as I make these baking powder biscuits. So I've started with just 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And then in here I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So there's 3. I kind of made that last one kind of heaping, but it won't hurt. Okay, and then I'm going to put some salt. About that much. I'd say that's a good teaspoon, maybe a touch more. But the salt will give it some nice flavor. And then I'm going to mix my dry ingredients up. And of course, I always tell you, make sure you put love in here. It's so important. How many of you watched the Super Bowl, the halftime show? I watched it and I loved it. Thing is, I wouldn't have watched it, but there was so much talk about it that I thought, well, because I had never heard of Bad Bunny, and then I watched the awards, the music awards, and he got one, album of the year. I thought, oh, well, that's interesting. And the music was kind of nice. So I watched it and I enjoyed it. It would be something that I would play to a group that was trying to community build. And I always say, be proud of the community you're from. Don't call it down. This, in this flour and baking powder, I'm going to put some lard. And a few weeks ago, I rendered some pork fat, and I kept some of the lard. Well, I kept it, and I put it in the fridge in containers. And now I'm going to use it. So I'm going to use my pastry cutter. What I'm doing, I'm smooshing the lard in with the flour mixture. So smoosh it all in so that there's no big lumps and it looks kind of like, well, I'll show you. Something like this, And when you shake it, like that, are there big lumps on top? And if there are, work them in, although this one isn't. So I think that's good. So sometimes some people put a little bit of sugar in their biscuits, and that's okay. You can do that. And I would do that if I was making raisin biscuits. I'd put a little bit of sugar in there. And then with this is a little bit different than bannock, because bannock you make a well, you pour your liquid and then your melted lard in there, and then you make your bannock. But this, you take your milk, and I have 2 cups here, but I won't use it all. I should only use about 1.5 cups. And I'll mix it in like this. A little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, and just like that. It's just mixed a little bit different. And my mother always said, don't over mix your biscuits. Because your biscuits, you want them to be nice and puffy. And I think I need a little bit more here. Good. Good. So, I was telling you that I've been sick, but I do feel better. I went out a little bit yesterday, but it sort of wore me down. So today I said, I'm staying home and I'm going to cook. Because after you come out of something like that, I don't know about you, but I get so hungry for good, hearty food. I really eat a lot because while I'm sick, I don't eat a lot. So now I've got this dough mixed together nicely. So let me form it into a ball and put it on here. I'll be right back. Okay, I've formed a nice ball like this. Just brought it together. And I floured my counter here. And now I'm going to pat it out. You can use a rolling pin too if you want. I'm not going to. Just because I saw my grandmother making them like this, and I saw my mother making them like this too. So I'll just pat it out like that nicely. So while I was sick for a whole week it seemed. As I was coming out of my illness and I had a lot of time, but I needed to rest, I watched the whole season of Bridgerton again. And I'm all caught up waiting for the new part to be released. And I watched Queen Charlotte again. So that is always a nice way to get things off of your mind. Take it to another time in life. Now, I have preheated the oven to 400. And now I'm just going to cut my biscuits out. And I'm going to put them on this stone here. Now, you don't have to oil the stone because there's enough lard in here. And so you don't have to. So let me cut these out and I'll be back. I'm just poking a few holes in each of the biscuits and I'm going to put them into my preheated oven at 400. And when they're ready to come out of the oven, you'll be here with me. There, my biscuits are ready. I think I left them there just a little bit longer than I should have, but that's okay. They're nice and brown and they look good and they smell good. And now I'll see how it looks inside. So let me take a biscuit here. And let's see. Oh. Doesn't that look lovely? Very lovely. There's nothing wrong with these biscuits. They look very good. Let me bring you closer. Let's see, I'll put a bit of butter on. Hold on. I'm putting some honey on here and seeing how that is. It is delicious. My son gave me this honey at Christmas time, and it's from Haunted Hills Honey. It's delicious honey. He gave me 4 of them. I've got almost that half done already. So fresh biscuits, honey, and tea. What a beautiful afternoon.